I see you again, when I see you again.
I think we have P9. Very good race, Jules. Finally, 11 points.
When I see you again.
Hi everyone, welcome back to this Jules Bianchi Tribute Career Mode. And in this episode we head off to one of the circuits I've actually been to a Formula 1 race at this circuit, and that is the Hockenheim ring in Germany for round number 10 of the Tribute Career Mode. So without further ado, let us begin.
Welcome to the Rhine Valley and the Hockenheim Ring, where we await the start of the highly anticipated German Grand Prix. So let's join the action down on the grid. Let's look at the grid order for today's race while the cars make their final preparations.
So we are starting in 19th place once again. This is what the top 10 looks like. It's quite a mixed up 2nd, 3rd and 4th row there. That's pretty interesting, but the Mercedes once again lock out the front row with Rosberg on pole. Okay, let's look at the strategy for today's race. I decided to once again go on the prime tyres so that we can use the same tactic that helped us in Silverstone in using the overcut on the prime tyres and then being on the faster tyre at the end of the race. So fingers crossed this works. I know it's a different circuit, but it's never harmful to try, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, let us begin the race.
Okay, we're looking to finish in the top 4 in today's race.
Lights out and away we go in Germany. We've got a pretty decent start off the line, not under much pressure from behind, but we're now coming up to the outside of Passo Maldonado. It's quite a narrow entry into turn 1. Very easy to lose your front wing there, and we've seen plenty of first corner instances in the past. For example, Kevin Magnussen in 2014. We're going to dive bomb down the inside, very nearly clip the back of the Lotus there in front of us. We're now up into 13th place, avoiding any contact as we come into the longest straight of the circuit, which leads to the slow hairpin right-hander. We're in the slipstream of the Lotus right now to see if we can try and make a move down the inside. Faked an outside move, but then going down the inside, dive bombing also a McLaren as well, possibly getting past Force India as well, but Hulkenberg manages to hold it out round the outside and maintain 10th place. We're now up to 11th as we come into my favourite part of the circuit, as we come into a very tricky left-hander. We had a quick look up the inside, but there's not enough room and it's a bit too far back for us to make a move there. Anyways, we're now cutting to the 3rd sector of this first lap. This is where I really like. We've got pretty good drive off the right-hander, but of course Hulkenberg is able to cover us up. We're going to go down the inside into the left-hander, and we're now up into the points in 10th place. Cutting onto lap number 2, we're right behind the Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen, possibly looking up the inside prior to the straight where the DRS zone is. No DRS this lap, of course, it's only lap number 2, but because of our attempt down the inside there, we've lost a little bit of ground to Raikkonen in front, and the combination of Raikkonen being in the slipstream of the car in front. We're going to try and go for a dive bomb down the inside of both Ferrari and Jenson Button. We've made a little bit of contact with the McLaren though, and we've lost a massive amount of speed, which results in us falling back behind Raikkonen. We're now cutting to the 3rd sector of lap number 2. We've got good drive off the right hand, and we're going to do a similar move to what we did on Hulkenberg the previous lap. We're now up into 9th place, just behind Jenson Button. Having a quick look into the left and right hand chicane part of the circuit, coming into the start of lap number 3, we actually got DRS on this straight. I didn't actually know that there was a DRS zone for this particular straight. We're going to go down the inside of Jenson Button into the slow right-hander prior to the main straight. So that means we're going to be susceptible to the DRS and the Mercedes engine of Button behind us. We're going to try our best to try and hold him off, but as you can see here, Button just goes completely down our inside with little or no effort prior to the hairpin, not even having to outbrake us. So we're going to go down the inside into the hairpin, try and retake the place back, forcing him wide off the circuit if he had to try and repass us. So we're now up into P8. We are now on lap number 4. We're right behind the Ferrari of Fernando Alonso. I think he's a little bit too far ahead of us for us to make a move down the inside, considering he's in the DRS zone of the cars in front. But look at Massa and Vettel having their own little ding-dong battle. Vettel forcing Massa a little bit off the circuit there. But we're going to try and we maintain 8th place. We're going to try and see if we can make a move the next lap. And as you can see, we are right with Alonso this time around. Going down the inside, we're going to try and dive bomb the Williams and Massa as well and get past 2 cars in 1 corner. Got off the track a little bit there, but we've made the move prior to us going off the track, so we shouldn't have to give that place back. But look at Alonso trying to go down our inside. It's the fast right-hander, but we were able to fend him off into the left-hander in front of the Mercedes grandstand. But the battle with Alonso was not over as we cut to lap number 6. Alonso is still in our DRS zone here. He's going to try and go down the inside, but we cut him off the inside. But he's just going to go right round our outside prior to the hairpin. So it looks like we're going to have to try and do a bit of a dive bomb to regain position back, which we have done. We're into the hairpin now, and we've maintained that 6th place. But you'll notice a similar trend happening. We're cutting to the next lap. Alonso is still with us. We're unable to make progress further up the field. I don't know what I've done. I think I might have destroyed my prime tyres already, and it's only lap number 7. I need to get up to lap number 10. As you can see, Alonso is just going right around our outside once again. We're going to go and try and do the same thing as what we did the previous lap. Hold it around the inside, down on inside into the hairpin to ensure Alonso has absolutely no chance of repassing us unless he goes off the circuit and does an illegal overtake. We're now going to cut to lap number 8. I understeer wide out of the slow right-hander, and that's put Alonso right on my tail here. You're going to notice he's going to go straight past, even go straight past me much earlier than what he did the previous 2 laps. And now look at this, Massa's just now all of a sudden down our outside. We're going to try and go down the inside once again, but we've turned to the corner a bit too tightly, and Alonso has made it his way past us, and we have been relegated back down to 7th place. Getting to the end of the lap here, you're going to notice something really stupid happens. Alonso slows right down to get into the pits, and then we make a little bit of contact, and we're forced to use the grass and get a corner cut there. There was nothing I could do really after we made the contact. But anyways, a couple of cars have made their pit stops now, and we're up into 2nd place. We're now going to cut to lap number 10, which is actually our pit stop time, but we've been losing bucket loads of time due to being on these prime tyres that I think have destroyed. I'm not sure if that's the case or not, but we're going to understeer wide coming into the slow left-hander. That's just one of the corners that I've been losing a massive amount of time to the cars behind. And actually Hamilton is right behind us here as we come into the fast right-hander to start the final section. We've gone wide and we're going to hit the gravel, and Hamilton has just swept past us into 2nd place. So now we are more than a pit stop behind the Mercedes once we make our pit stop at the end of this lap. This weekend is not going well for us. We're now going to come into the pits now, try and get onto these option tyres as soon as possible. We've understeered wide into the gravel though. We've done a Lewis Hamilton of 2007 in China. We're now into the pits, so we may have lost even more time to the cars behind us. But anyways, let's see where we end up after this pit stop. So the pit stop was good, but as you can see on the top left hand of the screen, we're already down to 8th. We have actually lost a position there. As we come out of the pits, you're going to see Felipe Massa around our outside. We're going to try and hold him off down the inside into the slow right-hander actually, as we come up to the DRS zone. I think Massa will still have the DRS in activation behind us, so we may have to defend here. As you can see, Massa, we try and block him off on the outside, but he's just driving straight past us, having none of it. We're going to go down the inside into the hairpin, possibly making a move. We've lost a massive ton of speed though, and Massa's still there around the outside of us. So we're unable. So we've dropped back down to 9th place. We're going to try and stay with the Williams, coming up to the slow left-hander here. We're going to go try and go around the inside. It's a very similar move to what Kimi Räikkönen did a couple of years ago. Some of the cars in the 2012 race, but we're now up into 8th place. We're now on to lap 12. We're actually trying to close the gap on the next car, which is Jenson Button, and we are going to go into rich fuel mix for the rest of the race because we've got plenty of fuel to be able to do that. As we're now going to cut to the end of the lap, we're right with Jenson Button now. We're going to get good drive off the right-hander here. We're right with the McLaren. We're going to go down the inside into the left-hander in front of the stadium complex section of the circuit, and we're up into 7th place. Next up on the list is Fernando Alonso. Let's see if we can get revenge after he passed us early on in the race and cost us a massive amount of time when he headed for the pits as we come to start lap number 13, where we actually set the fastest lap of the race. Coming into the first corner, we're right in the DRS zone of the Ferrari in front of us, so it looks like we're going to go down the inside prior to the long straight of the second DRS detection zone to ensure that we don't get passed by Alonso again. We're now cutting to lap number 14. We're right with the next car, which is Daniel Ricciardo. We've made very good time on the Red Bull now. Well, look at this, we're right with him. We're going to do the same move that what we did on Jenson Button a couple of laps ago, and we're now up into 5th place. We've actually gained 2 places from our pit stop now. But unfortunately for us, this is the highest position we're going to be able to obtain from this race today, because Sebastian Vettel, who's the next car ahead of us, you're going to see from the split times, he is 6.6 seconds ahead of us, so in theory we have to gain 2 seconds per lap on him in order to make a move on him prior to the end of the race, but sadly we're unable to do so. Nico Rosberg has won the race today, winning his home race like he did in real life in 2014 season. We're coming through the last few corners here, into the second last corner, in front of the main grandstand, going a bit wide, coming off the exit, coming into the final corner now, and we're going to take a 5th place finish in Germany.
Mercedes came out on top today, with Nico Rosberg bringing home the car in first place to add another 25 points to his championship total.
Confirmation of the results from the German Grand Prix is a 1-2 for Mercedes, with Rosberg in front of Hamilton, Bottas getting a podium for Williams, that's his 2nd of the season, Vettel in 4th for Red Bull, myself in 5th, Ricciardo 6th, Alonso 7th, Jenson Button in 8th, Felipe Massa 9th, and Sergio Perez getting a point for Force India in 10th. As we go further down into the standings, Max Chilton finishing in 20th place in front of Pastor Maldonado, that's impressive there, with Marcus Ericsson the only lapped car in this race. We're now going to cut to the Drivers' Championship, where we are still in 2nd place, but Rosberg's win today, combined with our 5th place, has resulted in German now only 10 points behind us in the championship. We're now 44 points behind championship leader Lewis Hamilton, but to be honest, we're not really in the title race, as I've stated before. But anyways, we're now going to cut to the Constructors' Championship, where Marussia are still in 3rd place, but Williams outscoring the team today has resulted in them closing the gap on us. We've got to keep an eye on that team for the next couple of races. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Apologies that this was out. This episode was delayed. If you did like the video, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next race, which is at the Hungaroring in Budapest, Hungary.